Jonah, a prophet of God, is given a clear command. Go to Nineveh, that great city, and preach against it because its wickedness has come up before me. Jonah 1:2. Nineveh, the powerful capital of Assyria, was known for its corruption and brutality. God wanted Jonah to warn them of impending judgment unless they repented. Instead of obeying, Jonah attempts to escape God's command. He boards a ship sailing to Tarshish, a distant city in the opposite direction of Nineveh. Jonah hopes to avoid his prophetic duty by fleeing from God's presence. As Jonah sails away, God sends a violent storm that threatens to destroy the ship. The sailors, terrified, begin crying out to their gods for help. They throw cargo overboard to lighten the ship, but nothing calms the raging sea. The sailors, desperate for answers, cast lots to find out who is responsible for the storm. The lot falls on Jonah. When questioned, Jonah confesses that he is a Hebrew and is running from the God who made the sea and dry land. The sailors are shocked and terrified. Jonah realizes the storm will not stop unless he is thrown into the sea. He tells the sailors to toss him overboard. Reluctantly, they do so, and immediately the storm calms. The sailors, witnessing God's power, worship him with offerings and vows. As Jonah sinks beneath the waves, God sends a great fish, commonly referred to as a whale, to swallow him. Jonah remains inside the fish for 3 days and 3 nights, a symbolic period of reflection, repentance, and restoration. From the belly of the fish, Jonah cries out to God in repentance. He acknowledges God's power, recalling how he sank into the deep waters, but was saved by God's mercy. Jonah promises to fulfill his vow to serve God faithfully. Salvation comes from the Lord. Jonah 2:9. Hearing Jonah's prayer, God commands the fish to vomit Jonah onto dry land. Jonah is given a second chance to fulfill his mission. Once again, God instructs Jonah to go to Nineveh. This time, Jonah obeys without hesitation. He travels to the powerful city to deliver God's warning. Jonah walks through Nineveh proclaiming, 40 more days, and Nineveh will be overthrown. Jonah 3:4. The message is simple yet powerful. Jonah warns the people that judgment is near unless they change their ways. To Jonah's surprise, the people of Nineveh believe his message. From the king to the commoners, they fast, wear sackcloth, a symbol of mourning and repentance, and cry out to God for forgiveness. Even the king steps down from his throne, humbling himself before God. Who knows? God may yet relent and withhold his anger so that we will not perish. Jonah 3:9. Seeing the people's sincere repentance, God relents from sending disaster. Nineveh is spared from destruction. Jonah becomes furious that God showed mercy to Nineveh. He complains bitterly to God, I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love. That is why I fled to Tarshish. Jonah 4:2. Jonah is upset because he believes the wicked city deserved judgment. Jonah leaves the city and sits outside, hoping to see Nineveh destroyed. God causes a plant to grow beside Jonah, giving him shade and comfort. Jonah is pleased with the plant. The next day, however, God sends a worm to destroy the plant, leaving Jonah exposed to the scorching sun. Jonah becomes faint and angry, wishing to die. God rebukes Jonah, saying, You cared about this plant, which you did not tend or make grow. Should I not care about Nineveh, that great city where more than 120,000 people live, who do not know their right hand from their left? Jonah 4:10-11.